We're live, baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode where I'm going to be creating a drum kit from scratch and taking you guys along the journey with me. So if you don't know already, I'm working on a new drum kit called Data Breach. And I decided to use AI to kind of help me come up with some cover art ideas. It wasn't the best idea, I guess, because this dude named Elv, the audio leaking virus, showed up. And he's going to be leaking all of the sounds that I create in these live streams to you guys for free while I'm trying to create this drum kit. So you guys are pretty much going to be getting all the sounds for free as long as you sign up now. And it's completely free. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what you got to do. There's a link in the description of this video. I'm going to put it in the live chat for you guys right now as well. But here you go. You can sign up for early access if you haven't already yet. And at the end of these live streams, Elv is going to be sending you guys just a pack full of sounds, presets, effect racks for Ableton, and all this stuff that we're making in these live streams. This dude's getting in here and stealing all my shit. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, so if you guys want to learn about that, check out the link below. And let me go ahead and pin this in the chat right now. So that's kind of what's going on here. Definitely want to sign up for this right now because these are limited time drops, meaning if I send out a drop, if Elv sends out a drop tonight and you're not signed up, you're going to miss that drop forever. They only go out one time, right? So they're super limited in that sense. Let me go ahead and drop this in the chat so everyone has it, and I'll go ahead and pin it. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. And yeah, man, I'm excited for this live stream. We're going to be making snares from scratch today, and I'm going to be showing you guys all the sauce. It's going to be fire. All right, dropping this in the chat. Let's go ahead and pin that. Awesome. So we got a lot of stuff to go over today. We got a whole ass schedule, okay? So if you thought this was going to be some random stream, it ain't. You might want to watch this baby back, save it, you know, have it nestled for a nice time when you got some time to just watch it, learn, maybe take some notes here or there. Because I'm going to be going over a lot of stuff, okay? And hopefully this doesn't come out too long. I want to try to keep this under 2 hours, but we're going to be doing an episode for like every drum. So today we're doing snares. On another occasion, we're going to be doing 808s, basses, kicks. I'm going to be taking you through every drum in a drum kit and showing you guys all of my favorite ways to make them smack. So I think this is going to be a ton of fun. And if you have any ideas or any new tricks that I haven't tried out, drop them in the chat, man. Let me know. What are you doing? What kind of plugins are you using to create sounds and go crazy? I'd love to hear it. I'm always open to feedback and trying new things as well. So this is going to be sick. Let me just take you guys through the breakdown of what we're going to be going over today. So first, we're going to take a look at snare drums, and we're going to deconstruct them to the very element of which they are so that you guys understand exactly the differences between snare drums and different genres, how they're made, the different layers that go into making a snare drum. It's not just one layer all the time. And all that goodness. After that, we're going to go over some pro tips, some tips to make snares even better and to progress over time. And then after that, we're going into the 3 different ways on how to make snares from scratch. Well, the first way is how to make snares from scratch. It's going to be the more complex way. After we do that, we're going to be going into another way, which is how you can combine multiple parts of a snare in a special way. And then the third way is using a bunch of different effects and processing to just make some mad shit, like some crazy stuff. So we got a lot to go over today. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. And without any further ado, let's get over into Ableton and let's start this baby going. Let's get going. Let's go at it. Do I still got the soundboard hook up? Let's see. A little delay, but we got it. All right. Let's get these headphones on. Make sure the stream's doing good. Okay, cool. We haven't lost any frames. All right, dope. Let's get in here. So first and foremost, we're going through snare drum deconstruction. So we're going to analyze some of the differences between snares and different genres of music. That'll give us a better understanding of how to create them and the differences in them, right? How you create one is how you create them all, potentially. We'll see. Let's jump right into it. First, let's start off with like trap. Like And trap, and when I say trap, I mean like trap like hip hop, like trap beats. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And let's just look at some more popular snare sounds. I just picked some random sounds out here, some ones that are popular that everybody has. You know, we got a Pyrex snare, so let's take a listen at some of these. So these are all very short and punchy, but these are some of the most popular ones I could use time and time again. You can tell like they're all super punchy. This one in particular I like because it has a little tonal aspect to it. That one in particular is nice for doing like snare rolls and things like this. But you can see like if we look at the waveform, they all look just like noise, like saturated noise. And, you know, it's pretty bare bone. They're very like stabby almost. Like a one-shot type deal. Versus, we're going to look at some like EDM and boom bap snares, how they're a little bit more full, right? They have, look at this. You can already tell looking at the waveforms right away, there's more of a tonal aspect to these, right? Because if we go back to these trap ones, it almost looks like if you were to take like this and chop off that, right? That would be how you would make one of these snares, right? Like compare this one. Let's bring this one down to the bottom. Like look at this and look at this. So if we took just this section of this snare, I mean, we're pretty damn close, right? We just got to put a transient on the beginning. So that's something interesting to take in note. So when you're making trap snares, you could just make them the EDM way or the boom bap way, the more realistic way, and then just carve out the ends and go from there. So let's take a listen to some of these different EDM ones. A little longer, right? A lot of tone going on in these. And this one's super long. Right? Just a ton. And you could almost see it's like delayed from where it gets hit. Like it settles in like right here where you see it drop out, right? That's where all the noise layers coming in really. But really it's just like, so it drops into that. Kind of cool. Let's check out these boom bap ones really quick now. So let's check out this one first. You can see it's kind of like the EDM. It might be like a shorter version of it, but you got the same thing, right? You got the tonal part, you got the initial transient, and then the white noise out right there. This is boom bap. That one's super tonal, but that sounds fire to be honest. It's a nice short one. So you can see like these like more realistic sounding snares and the EDM ones, which could be more realistic, even though by the time they're finished, they've added a million effects, so it sounds crazy and drowned out. Having that full body of sound there versus the ones that we're typically using here in like trap and hip hop, they're just like, it's just like a small transient and then white noise out. Whoops, do I have all of them on right now? That's funny, all of them together. Sounds like shit. That one's almost like, that's the closest to like the EDM ones that we're looking at. But you can see it's like you almost just chop off that end and add a little, almost like a little transient onto the front of this. So that's kind of taking a look at some of the different genres and styles of snares. And those aren't all of them, right? There's going to be more. There's drill snares, which is almost like a drill hi-hat. It's almost like a combination. It's like in the middle of being a snare and a hi-hat. Did I say drill? Drill snares like in the middle of a snare and a hi-hat. So you would take the differences in creating those to create it when you're making it from scratch. So kind of understanding what's going into it is super important. And now we're going to take a look at the different layers that go into creating the sound. And you can see them too, just by looking here, right? I've been kind of talking about it. Like you see a lot of white noise in here. White noise is the stuff that's super scattered. But when you see it go up and down like this could be like a sine wave. But let's take a look at the different components. So, and when we're talking about this, right? These are the essential layers of a snare. These could be all in a snare, or it might just be one of them, right? It's a combination thereof. And as you can see, depending on the genre, like this just looks like it's pretty much white noise. with a little bit of something else sprang in there. But essentially you have the core layer, which is like the foundation, the snare layer, you could say. And it's the body of the sound. It's what really carries the oomph to it. And we're actually going to create this from scratch in Serum in just a bit. This is created with like sine waves, white noise, and etc. Okay, and you can play around with it and get crazy. This is going to be like more body. This is where the difference between the super tonal snares and the hip hop boom bap snares comes in. Like how long is that tonal aspect of the snare? We have the mid layer, which is almost like the clap. Like you'll hear a lot of popular like snares are like a snare and a clap actually mixed together. You'll see that happen a lot of times. And the clap is going to add more body and space and fill up the sound. Claps usually just made with white noise, but you can get super experimental with this and like add whatever you want. You could add, I've seen people do like breaths, like chants, anything spacey. You could add like, I don't know, texture in the background. You can go crazy. And then the last layer, that would be the mid layer, the clap layer. The last layer would be the high layer. And sometimes this is used, sometimes it's not. Like we saw in the case of the Picasso here. The high part of this is that it's like a clav sort of a sound that you're hearing in there. And that's what gives it that tonal aspect. It adds a little bit more character to it. There's lots of ways you can do this. You can add texture. You could add like a bell sound. You could add, I don't know, you could take a frequency from whatever you want and use it to create that sound. So those are really cool as well. That's the high layer. So snares can be any combination of it, right? So it could be as detailed or as simple as you want to get it. Because like some snares are just the basic snare layer at the foundation. Something like that. Okay, let's go into some pro tips really quick before we actually get into making this. These are things just to keep in mind while you're making snares, going crazy. For refinement. Refinement is huge. My best snares and my best like sounds in general come from refining them. So I may make a bunch of different snares one day and try testing them out another day. Well, I'm going to keep track of my favorite ones and maybe I want to tweak them a little bit. Maybe it needs to be compressed a little bit more. Maybe it needs a little more high end. Maybe I want to mix it with another layer of something, or maybe I need to shape it a little different. Maybe add some transient characteristic. Making different versions of the same sound and refining your sounds over and over again is how I've come up with like some of my best stuff. Not gonna lie. So refining your sounds is huge, and make sure you're saving everything along the way. Save every little piece. Trust me, you're gonna be happy you did. Stashing your favorite sounds. That's tip number 2. You should be stashing all of your favorite sounds. I need some water. Mouth's getting dry over here, talking like a motherfucker. And we're going to get into creating some stuff in just a second. But stashing your favorite sounds for a ton of reasons. First off, for inspiration and to use in your beats. But also, you could steal parts of them if you want, right? You could take the tail end and use it in another snare. You could take just the transient and use it in a snare that you want to create. Or maybe you want to take that sample, make it shorter, and add a bunch of effects on it and do it your way, and it sounds so much different. So you can take a snare and make it completely different just through repetition. But you should be stashing all of your sounds in a folder. Tip number 3 is you can use EQ with saturation to come up with some amazing harmonic effects. This works really great for 808s, snares. So basically whenever you're making like a big EQ cut, or a boost, it can be really great to put a saturator after the fact, especially when you're like boosting a certain frequency into the saturator. It's going to bring out more harmonics in that sound. I love to use saturation when I'm just creating sounds in general. That's like, you should be using that a ton. And then number 4, the last pro tip is no rules. Get creative with this. Use sounds that you don't think would work. Just go crazy with this, man. Try out different things. Save repetitions of everything along the way, because I'll get into a giant session and I'll make like 30 different snares, right? And I'll take the whole day to go crazy, make some snares, and by the end of it I'm like, I didn't come up with anything that great that day. But the next day I will listen to that and there will be several in there that I'm like, damn, these are hard, and I'll go back to the preset and change it and tweak it, make it even better. So keeping track of everything is huge. In fact, I like to even take projects, like you'll see this project right here in Ableton is called Snare Designer. I'll take a whole project and I'll save it just to make sure like all of my stuff is there. All the plugins I used, everything is all saved in that project if I ever need to go back and see what I did. So if you're serious about sound design, man, take those tips seriously. Now we're going to get into the 3 custom ways that you can create snares. There's 3 ways, all right? The first way, we're going to be making it from scratch for the most part. All right, we're at least going to be making the snare base layer from scratch, and I'll show you how to use some other stuff for the other layers. It's going to be a lot of fun. And because we're going to be making claps another day here, so I'm not going to show you how to make all the layers today. Claps, I don't think we're going to do those on the next live stream, but they'll be coming up soon. It'll be one of the next ones. But we're going to be using Serum for that. So the first way is pretty much making it from scratch, and we're going to go crazy. We're going to do all 3 layers, okay? The second way is like combining multiple snare samples that you already have. Like maybe I like the transient. Maybe I like the transient of this Picasso snare, but I like the body of this one. And, you know, maybe I chop this right here. And I like the, maybe there's a clap sound that I want to mix in it to give it more body, okay? Maybe you did something like this and you combine all 3 of them into one snare at the end. There's ways to do that. And then the third way is using lots of effects to like take maybe your favorite sound and make it even better or customize it to your own liking. And yeah, man, let's get into it. So we're going to start by making a snare, like the main layer from scratch in Serum. Okay. The core layer, baby. All right, let me go ahead and open up a Serum patch, and we're going to get right into this. Turn off the analyze layer. Awesome. Okay. Let's go ahead and get a Serum. I'm going to be using Serum 2 for this demonstration today, guys. But if you have Serum 1, there's nothing I'm going to be doing today that you can't do in Serum 1. So don't worry if you haven't upgraded. But if you have Serum 1, you should have Serum 2 anyways because it was a free upgrade. I mean, even if I did the splice route. So if you did the splice route too, you can still get it for free. Yeah, so you should have it if you have Serum 1. Anyways, I would imagine you can do all of this in Vital too if you don't have Serum. But we're using Serum today. It's the one that I know the best and I'm the most comfortable with. So let's jump in. Let's start creating something from scratch here. Okay, I got my notes open. All right, cool. We're going to start with the main layer, right? The base layer, the tonal aspect of it. In fact, maybe we use something like this. Yeah, I like that. So we'll start off there, but let's go ahead and make a MIDI really quick because I don't want to be clicking on my keyboard the whole time. I'd rather just use the space bar, and we could go like all the way down, right? Perfect. Gotta make sure we have Serum open. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So we don't hear anything yet, and that's because we gotta get these octaves right. And I used to modulate this course right here, but what I've seen recently is just if you just add a little bit to it here, maybe like 36 is what I've seen works good. Let's play with these octaves. Okay. So we're going to be using this, a noise layer, and we got to get in and start creating these LFOs. So for this first one, let's attach this LFO here to the level. Okay, so and we'll turn this off for now. So what I like to do is we're going to put this in envelope, but I like to use the rate here in hertz. You can dial it in way better. So maybe like 4.7, something like that. And I'll have it go out quick like this. Okay. And what's cool about using this is you can control it way better than just using the envelopes here. So I like to use the LFO. So you could do it either way. If you want to do the envelope, whatever. This is my tutorial, damn it. Okay, so that's cool. Okay. Let's work on this next one here. Badass. Okay, let's get some noise in here. Let's go like the Serum 1 noises. There's one in particular. Is it the pink that or the white? Oh, the bright white. Okay, we're gonna automate the level here. Whoops. Okay, this is the interesting curve. Okay. Okay. So the shape here is it goes down instantly, comes back up, and comes out. Okay. Okay, so for this white one, let's put this way down here. Okay, we'll put this like right here. There, we're getting to it. Let's put this in hers envelope. What do we have the other one at? 4.6. Depending on how much of a tail you want, you can go ahead and really dial this in, but okay. All right. Turn on this third one here, and this shape I like to play with sometimes, so I like to try out different things, see what sounds good. And this one we're going to be doing FM from A. Turn the unison up here. Yeah, we want that to be like very, it's just going to be a ting. Okay, so it's going to be very quick. In fact, we'll just put this on. Oh yeah, let's put it in envelope, hertz. I want to turn the random off on these. Okay, and we'll put some chorus on this as well. This is just going to give it that a little transient. So if we listen to it, sounds like a cricket or something. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's go to the basic shapes. I like how that sounds. Okay. Random. Okay, I think we're good. We can start getting into some of the processing here. Let me clean this up a little bit. And we'll come back and tweak these as well as soon as we get some of this processing going in here. But we're getting there, right? It's a start. So let's get right into the FX here. First thing I want to add is like some distortion or something. There you go. Sounds like a snare. Done. That's funny. Okay. You hear that tone come out right there, but we don't want that. And then you can play with the different distortions and see which one you like. All right, next, let's go ahead and add a hyperdimension. Whoop. Someone's calling me. Sorry, we got important shit to do. Let's make sure the stream's going good. Okay, cool. It looks like we've been going well. Yeah, what's good? Yeah, right, Cricket Core? Alright. The stream's been going good. I'm happy. Let's get back into this. Okay. Get an EQ going. Okay. Let's start sweeping and looking for a spot here. Sounds good right there. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and duck at that spot, because when you make a big hit, you should duck afterwards. Let's go down about 6. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Okay. Huge difference. Clean that baby right up. All right, we'll get a filter in here as well. Look at that. I wonder if that's Serum 2 just, yeah, okay. We won't worry about it too much. We're gonna use a band 12 here. Oh my God. A peak 12. Yeah, we just want a peek out of this. Just a little Pikachu. Damn, we're getting there. Okay. And we got to get a compressor in here. Okay, let's get this 3-to-1. Smash the release. Smash the gain. Whoop. Smash the gain. All right, let's turn this up too. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, we got to get a filter in here as well. And we're going to filter B. And the noise. Okay. Let's get the a high 12. Ooh, that sounds disgusting. Okay, cool. Yeah, add a little driver. And this is where you can start, like, once you have this basic setting down, you can start, like, tweaking it. You can really refine it. Like, maybe we want to cut this down a bit. Let's turn the volume up, though. That's sick. Like, listen to with before and after this, like, transienty little ding. And actually, I might turn down a little bit more. There we go. Yo, don't do that. Let's hear it by itself, though. Cricket core. Can make this longer or shorter. This though. Cool, I'm happy with that. Always save. Especially once you get to this point, you can make a bunch of different variations just by tweaking different things, and I'll go over that really quick so I can show you guys what I mean. But you definitely want to be saving all your variations here. I'm just going to call this snare live, because we're live, 1. And like playing with different shapes, I don't know, this, you could play with this a little bit, like using maybe a triangle. Let's see. Triangle. Actually, I think I like that more. See? But some of them just will not work. Okay, same with this thing right here. Some shapes work better than others. You just want that little ping. And it's, yeah, if we turn this off. That hits significantly louder, so it has more of an effect. Maybe that'll even work better. Let's see. Whoops. Let's turn on the noise. And that was this layer, yeah. Cool. And now I would save this as like snare 2, because I did change a little bit, and then you can go back later and be like, okay, were the changes that I made actually better or worse? But we did change this as well. And now we're going to go ahead and flatten this down. You could either freeze and flatten this, or if you want to save it, which we're going to do, You can literally make a resampling audio track, arm it, and record it. Okay, and we can turn this one off for now. I'm actually going to deactivate this. Put this to no input. Okay, so we made that transienty part a little bit too long. It looks kind of crazy, but this is an interesting start here. Let's go ahead and, because we're going to be using this as the bass layer, so it's not going to carry the entire tail. We're going to have like a clap layer do that. Okay, Command J or Control J to consolidate that. We'll bring it up. We got our core layer, our core snare here. Core snare. Okay. And we're gonna group this because we're gonna make a couple different layers in here. If we can spell correctly, that would help. Okay. So this is gonna just be our core snare. So we're gonna get some stuff to make the clap part, and we'll even look for some maybe we have like a ding or a bell. In fact, let's do that first. Let's look for like some sort of like a transienty bell sort of a sound to give it some character. I've seen a lot of like dubstep guys like to do the glass breaking sounds, like things that have like high frequencies like that. I have a Detroit kit that has a lot of like perky sounds that would work really good in here. So let me go to the Fearless kits. We will go to Detroit Sounds of the Era. Let's go to perks, I think. You could even do something like that. I want to see what this, actually, that'd be funny as hell. Okay, let's put an EQ on here. It's good to have the frequencies around, like, you want it to be like from like 1 to 3K, like right in this range right here for the sound you're looking for to work well with the snare. Whoop. It's not, I mean, that could work. I say let's use it just because I think it would be hilarious. Let's try doing this. Let's go up. Wow. Let's pitch it up a little bit. See what we can do with this. The other thing, when you're layering stuff together, you want to make sure nothing's really getting in the way of the core, the main sound, right? Obviously, we can start to layer over the tail end of this and start here, but we don't want to be covering up the initial punch of that snare. Oh my gosh, okay, let's see. Put some reverb on this. Let's see if going up one more. Yeah, I think it sounds best there. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Okay, so let's look at some other effects that we can put on here to like help bring some of the sound out. And don't worry too much about the decay, because like decay. Like, what am I talking about? Donkey Kong? Just kidding. Anyways, yeah, don't worry about it too much, because we're gonna come in here and shape everything, man. We're going crazy. So okay, let's get like Corpus. Ableton's Corpus is dope, especially for getting these little pingy sounds. Yeah, you just gotta dial it in. Let's go up to like C5 maybe. I mean, it's not horrible. There's even different sounds you could play with in here as well. The tube probably would be cool. But remember, we're not putting this on the snare. We're putting this on this, so the beam will be perfect. Let's see. In fact, let's solo this. I also want to mono this layer. In fact, we'll just get a utility. I don't know why I typed in mono. Mono this. And when you're sound designing, let's say you wanted to put some width back into it, but you just don't want to use what whoever made this original sample, like this bark, I don't know what they used. What you could do is you could first mono it and then add the width back after if you wanted to do it that way. That can be useful sometimes. Okay, you can hear now it's starting to sound more like a ding. I think I like it like that more. Let's hear it together really quick. Cool, maybe we pull back a little more. Okay. Let's get some multi-band dynamics in here. Okay. Like I said, you gotta be using them saturators, fam. Hold on. Okay. You can play with whatever one of these you want. I'm gonna turn this color off, I think. I like the soft. Okay. Get an EQ in here. You can see this frequency peaking right here. It's the one we're after, baby. I think let's make this a little shorter now. Damn, son, we did that out of a bark. Where'd you find this? Okay. And you could even do more. Like if you wanted to add on to it, maybe you want to add some texture with it. Where's the kit we were at? Oh yeah, we were in Ableton 12, so I should be able to go back all the way, but damn, all the way back. Here we go. Like just add a little bit of this texture in here. But damn, we're gonna have to mono that one, huh? Utility. That shit's everywhere, son. Make sure to EQ everything. Go back, EQ the main snare. It's a little late, I feel. Should we go to C6? I know, it's going to sound a little funny because we didn't add the mid layer before because I just, I talked about it, so we got in here. Let's add a clap really quick. And just for the, I'll show you some different things you can add for the clap layer, but let's just pick one for now, anything. Let me turn this off for now. Okay. So we'll take this part, we're going to pull this back a little bit more here. One other thing I usually like to do is pitch this up a little bit. Oh, I want to unwarp this though. Okay. See, that's one snare right there. Done, right? That could be a snare. Here's where we're gonna make a more complex one right now by adding all these layers together and mixing them together. So some other things you could add for like this layer is anything that is like mid-range frequencies too, like stuff that can add space. Remember I was saying breaths before, chants. I feel like you could even use like sweeps. Things like that would be good. Box. Something like that. Ooh, I like that, but like, because like intense air, like the pressure of air from the lungs. Pause. That's what's gonna make it sound dope. But that's really loud, obviously. Get an EQ on here real quick. You don't need all the highs if you don't want to. Let's hear it together. Cool. Let's put this in now. One, two, because we went up 2 notes. Let's see if it still works though. Wait, how many notes do we go up? Let's see. We transpose this. Yeah, up 2. So I think I needed to go the other way. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, there we go. Let's listen to everything together now. Let's see how we're sounding. That breath is too loud. Let's see if we put it back where it was. If it still sounds good. Ooh, that sounds better. See, that corpus is sick. You just gotta dial it in right. Let me All right, we're gonna toss the tambourine. Sometimes everything doesn't work out. What I did want to do on this too is make sure it was in mono, because that was one of those things. We could add a little width back into it too. You could also add like a chorus onto this. Wait, what did I click? Okay, let's get like a chorus onto this. That's interesting. What's that, like -35? There we go. We'll add the width with this one instead. Throw a multi-band on here as well, and then we'll EQ it. Okay, let's see. Other things that could work good in this mid layer too. You could use like reverby claps, some like creative different claps if you have them, steal noises from other samples, these breath samples, textural things. Let me see if I have something in here. In fact, let's go into some textures. That could be a pretty cool accent right there. If we can make it work. And we gotta turn it way the heck down. Let's start it right there. Ultimately, we're not looking for it to be like super loud. So let's get the EQ. Remember, it's texture. We'll do the utility just to make sure it's monoed. You never know, especially with crazy sounds like this. Cause the mids. We could do some cleanup. Okay, so this is our high end. And you can figure out exactly how loud you want that higher part to be. Or maybe you even sample out multiple additions so you can see what works better in post. I like to do that all the time as well. I think we, oh, that's right. Okay. So there's one other thing you can do on this high thing. There is a free effect called Boba. And you can use the delta of this to kind of like single out that high end frequency. Because normally this would take it out to make it sound cleaner. But this, you can hear the high end, the harshness. But clean it up even more. Okay, let's get one more EQ in here. Just in case. Okay, so the Vox, for some reason, it doesn't feel right, so I'm going to play with the pitch. So if something feels like it just won't fit in, there you go. Okay, so now we're going to shorten it back up, though. That's true of drum samples, too, you guys. If you didn't know that, if you're trying to, like, make your drums and there's, like, a certain sound you want to use and it just won't sound right for some reason, try going up or down and transpose it 1 or 2 notes. So let's do stuff to the whole entire group here. Okay, let's just make sure everything smells okay. Multiband dynamics. Saturator. EQ. I'll get a glue compressor in there. Let's do the same thing with this. I'll put this up one pitch. Maybe we put it down one instead of up one. Or maybe you just delete it. In fact, this needs to be a little bit closer too. There we go. Oh. Okay, I'm happy with it. Now we're gonna go ahead and put an audio track outside of this group, and we will resample that. Let's arm it. We'll solo this group too. All right, let's take a look at this. No input. Wait, hold on a second. Something went weird. Oh. Oh, okay. There we go. I don't know what all that was. So we got a snare right there. If you wanted to make it work a little bit better for like these trap beats, for instance, like here, let's just so I can show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. We can go back into this. We'll just pick a random snare. Yeah, maybe something like this Pyrex one. And just so that we can see the difference here. So, okay. You can see that would almost like start like right there. Maybe we'll go a little bit further though, just in case. Like, let's cut it right here. Almost sounds like a different snare. And you could also, here, let's go ahead and consolidate this. I'm going to turn warp off. I like where it is, but yeah, you could have a bunch of different snares. Something might sound better in a different pitch. The difference here is you can see this has a little bit of a transient head, so we kind of got rid of that by chopping that snare, right? But we could take the original transient and use that if we wanted to. In fact, we could probably take it like this part. I'm going to use Option and pull that down. I believe on Windows it would be Alt. We could almost like drag these together to force them to like be together. You're gonna be together and you're gonna like it, dang it. All right, we'll give a little bit of that attack on there. That is a crazy looking, look at this. Holy smokes, bro. Is that even legal? You know what we want? We want this to be a very, very short, like, yeah, something like that. Let's consolidate this again. We're just gonna highlight everything. Option J, or Command J, Control J. So this is how you could take like with that kind of a snare and get it closer to this. You can see there's a lot more distortion, maybe even more white noise going on here. Then you'd further refine it. Let's get a saturator. I want to also get Ableton's roar on here. Ableton's new roar is fire. Yeah, I like that. Add some. Let's see, what do we want to do here? There's so many good ones in here, guys. The tube is fire. Hold on. There's also cool like things in here, like this comb, for instance. That's fire. Get one more EQ in here to finish it off. See if there's anything in here we want to get rid of. Turn that off. Let's put another saturator after this too, since we're doing all these cuts. Remember, that was one of the pro tips. Set this back. We're going to go to soft for this one. Let's see here. Commit that motherfucker. All right. Crunch that bad boy. Okay. It's pretty fire. Okay, so that was the first way, the long way, the creative way. You can do so many different things with that. I don't know which one I like more. I know that one was going to work better in the kind of beats that I make more, but... Sick. Okay, so that was the first long way. Now the second and third way are going to be a little bit shorter, but just as fun. Did we lose a light in the background? Must have died. That's what happens when you stream for long periods of time. In fact, let me make sure the stream's going good. Damn, we live. What's good, everybody? I'm going to try this. Hey, nice. You got the crack serum. That's what's up. All right, let's get... So the second way... is combining multiple different snare samples. So you might have a couple different snares that you like, or there might be something that you like about one in particular. You have a starting point. So let's see, I'm just gonna type in snare, and I wanna show you guys how you can combine multiple snares together, and you can come up with some crazy results. Well, look at all these. Look at, there's multiples of all of them too. That one's crazy. Ooh, I like this. Hold on. I like the transient of that, but I don't like the body of it. Let's use this Pyrex one, actually. Why not? So, first, let me take the part of it that I do like. I'm gonna get rid of the rest of this. And then we're going to take the transient off this, though you can see how tiny it actually is in here. So we'll take this part off. We'll use the snare of this. Or we'll use the body of this. And then we'll find that something that has more of like a tail end on it that we like. Maybe we'll find a clap for that. You can make this as long as you want. Play with the transposition of this. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and group these together now. Method 2. Make sure we mono this. Do all the same stuff here that you normally would. I mean, that's coming together. Let's see. Let's get like a saturator on here. Let's get an EQ going. Multi-band dynamics in this motherfucker. Okay. I think it's still this one giving me the issue, so let's play with this one more time. Okay, yeah, but before we finish it, let's make sure we EQ all of these really quick. All right. Yeah, I'm not liking how this is sounding, but bring it back to the basic. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and resample this now. Got a lot of tracks in here. Okay. Arm it. Sick. Yeah, and then you do all the same stuff. You know, you can continue further refining it. Bring it back down one, though because we brought it up one. And we started from this. That was weird. I wasn't playing the full sample. Even if we brought it back, it's got a completely different like aggression to it. So that's how you could combine multiple samples together, grabbing, you know, more of a transient part, more of the body of the snare, and then something for maybe the tail end in the middle. That is method 2 to creating snares. Method 3 is finding something, like finding a snare sample that you already really like and then just like throwing so much crap on it that it sounds different, right? That's kind of crazy, but we could honestly start here. And this goes as crazy as you want. Okay, so you can stretch this, you can shrink these samples, you can use plugins like shaping plugins like transient designers, things to shorten it up to make it go longer. Soft clipping, limiting plugins. You can use those to actually shape how it hits. I'll show you. I use UAD DBX to do that a lot, and we'll use that on this. Distortions, noise plugins like texture, bit crushers, frequency shifters, corpus, anything you can think of to add effects on it and to make it go crazy. So the first thing is we could like stretch this out a little bit. So let's pull the BPM forward. That's actually kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie. All right, cool. That's already way different. I want to make sure too. Oh yeah, we're above 0. I thought so. Okay, now it's starting to look crazy. From that point, since we stretched it, maybe we can pick exactly where it fades out now. Okay, further refining it. This is a different, like this snare is different. Like it sounds cool. Let's get an EQ in here. You could even find a spot in the EQ where, like, I don't know, there's a tone or something that you want to bring out more. Let's get saturator now. And now we're going to start adding some more stuff. Also, the saturator, if you do want to play with the color, you can put this down. You can get... That sounds like a hardcore sound. Or what is it called? Hardcore parkour. Could even bring it down. You know what Bit Crusher I like? Decimort. Check out a Decimort. And there's a lot of really cool settings. You can get it close with one of these. That's sick. You might be like, okay, that's way too much. Yeah, but you could also group it, create another chain. Just an idea. But yeah, you can go crazy with these. Let's pick something a little more simple here. Okay, perfect. Okay. Not a fan of that. Let's keep going. Does sound cool though, but you can use Ableton's like shifter. Play around with this a little bit. Turn into a Skrillex snare. What else should we try? I wanted to show you guys the DBX as well. This is like a limiting compression plugin. I use it all the time, but let's see. Let's get this one in here. Yeah, it sounds a little better. Sounds ridiculous. Hey, we're gonna make a crazy one. Like if you want it to sound different. freeze and flatten this. Yeah, we'll get rid of that tail. That noise plugin is corpus, frequency shifter, shaping. Yeah, definitely using like transient shapers, especially when you're messing with things to this extent. You might want to add a little transient back into it. We'll use the kilohertz one. This is a free plugin. Noise plugins are sick. Ableton's erosion isn't. Hold on, let me check this out really quick. What? Oh, wait, isn't there another noise plugin in Ableton? Audio effects. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan as that one. But you can definitely play around with that and get some cool ideas. Like I said, get crazy with it. Redux could be cool. This is like that Decimort plugin to a smaller extent. I wonder, oh no, I never logged into there. Okay, so even vocoder, like, bringing the bands down to like, yeah, you can get crazy with these things. Okay, what other ones do I want to show you? Is there any other plugins? Let's see. So shrinking, shaping, we did some soft clipping, some limiting, distortion. Ooh, you know what else could be cool? Rift. This is the other distortion plugin that I use when I'm not using Ableton's Roar. In fact, I might put the transient shaper after this one, though. And this just has so many different distortions. Let's try some noise here. And you can even use this smooth mode if you'd like. Makes a big difference. Okay, now let's play with this a little bit more. All right, we'll keep it like that. Okay, we got a snare. Number 3. We'll call this the method 3. Okay, we'll call this method 3. Okay, that's what we're gonna call this snare. We're gonna try some of these out in a beat here that we made to make sure they work. Show and finder. This is method 2. What did we ever do with this last one? Or is that is what came of that, right? We'll do this one as well, why not? We'll put a little bit of an attack on it. Okay, method 2, 2. Excuse me, those were both method 1s. This was method 2. Which I believe we used to destroy that. So let's go ahead and make sure we have this so we can compare them all at the end. We will go ahead and resample this again. Boom. Cool. Okay, this is method 2. Badass. Let's go try these out in a beat now. Okay, 1. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to try these couple that we made here out in a beat and make sure we're going to save. Definitely going to save. Let's go ahead and open up something here. We could try this one. make sure these snares actually work, man. I appreciate everyone for coming through. Method 3 is finally over. So now we got to make sure that these actually work. And I'll show you what you would do if it doesn't work, which is throw it right in the trash. No, I'm just kidding. Now, if these don't work, you further tweak them until they do work. You might need to put it in a different key. You might need to play with the transients. There might be some ugly frequencies in there that you need to get rid of. All kinds of stuff. But you very rarely do I just throw something away. Let's put this. I don't want to see this. Or this. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this. Why not? Right here. A loop here. And we have a clap in here right now. So we're just going to replace that with a snare. Perfect. Nothing's playing. All right, let's try out some of these snares, shall we? Method 1, the long method. In fact, let's do the first one first, the fatter one. Here's the trimmed up one. Let's check out method 2. Woo! Method 2. I think we combined multiple samples for that one. Method 3. That's disgusting. I want to further tweak that one because I think... What are you doing over here, motherfucker? Okay, yeah, because I think this has potential if we just tweak it a little bit further. Let's try something like this. Could also use something like shifter. Put the freak back on, the frequency. Motherfucker, science. Science, motherfucker. That takes away the tone of it completely, though. Which, hey, you can make it work there. Now you can make it fit in the beat, but I like the tone. I'm going to see if I can play with this further and make something crazy. If you do like -75. There you go, man. Holy smokes. That's crazy. Let's throw it over on a different part of this beat, too. Yeah, that part. That's fire. Yeah, see, that's sick. So there you guys go. 3 insane methods to make the most creative snares ever. Obviously, you can take this as disgusting as you want or as simple as you want. Keep adding plugins, keep refining, keep shaping. It never ends. It really never ends. But at some point, you're going to want to test out your samples, right? You'll probably spend a long time tweaking things. You might have a bunch of different versions. You're also going to want to try them out on the beat. That's why we went ahead and did that afterwards here for you guys. So you could see that, are they going to work? Are they going to fit? If they don't fit, what are some things we can do to tweak it? You know, we further refine it. You could use this shifter to push it towards a frequency more, or to change it a little bit, to fine tune it. And that's sick. That's a gem right there in and of itself. But man, that is the sound design process for snares. That's how I come up with my hardest snares. And now you guys know. So once again, we're going to be dropping pretty much everything that I created and a ton more. Well, I'm not going to be dropping it. Alviz. So if you guys want to get these limited drops before they're gone, like literally they get sent out exactly one time, and it will probably either be later tonight or tomorrow morning, you guys can sign up. Okay. It is pinned to the chat right now. It is also in the description of this video. If you want to sign up here for free limited drops, they will be delivered right to your inbox. And this is going to keep you updated for when we have new live streams and everything as well. So we did snares today. We went hard on snare design. Next is going to be probably 808s or kicks. And you will be updated if you sign up here. It's all free. Just lets you know what's going on, and you get some free sauce every single time we go live. But it only sends out once, so if you miss it, you miss it. So there you go, man. I appreciate everyone for joining me today for the snare design. Comment below which design is your favorite, which method is your favorite, and what am I missing? What kind of sauce don't I know about yet? Because I'm always eager to learn more. But besides that, man, it's been a blast. We're going to see you in the next sound design episode. I'll make sure to charge this light behind me.